It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. We are going to be looking at the feedback as per always every single Monday. And if you guys do not know how to go ahead and submit the feedback, all you have to do is go into the comment section. I always link the server for the Discord in the comments, the pinned comment. You go ahead and head over to the game feedback section, and there's this little command you're going to go ahead and copy right here. I usually like to just go ahead and copy it and paste it inside of the, where is the chat? The off-topic chat, because this one is usually the one that doesn't get like too much people talking in it. So you go ahead and paste it. There's going to be a little command that pops up saying submitted game feedback. You click on that, you click enter, it's going to submit the command. And then after that, your feedback, you can just go ahead and put it here. After you click submit, it's going to go ahead and show up in the submitted game feedback section. And just as a little quick heads up, because I know that you guys like talking or saying about it in the comments too. If you guys want me to go ahead and look at your feedback and you're not sure if it's going to show up in the video, from this point onwards, if you guys go ahead and put a comment asking for me to look at it, I will go ahead and do so. What I just go ahead and ask you to do, please, is either talk about the feedback that's inside of here, or better yet, just give me your username so that way I can go ahead and just click on the specific user section and be able to check and find your message that's in here, right? Even if you're able to tell me like when the actual time that you submitted this stuff, anything that helps me find it, right? But we're gonna leave that for the end of the video. I usually like just going in and looking at it from the newest message upwards, right? But let's go ahead and hop right into it. Love the game so much, but I was thinking about a start and end game chat. Honestly, that's fine. If they want to add chat features, I think that this game needs to probably get better reporting and better like toxicity blockers first before we get some of this stuff, because like I guess it in a sense it's like a necessary evil, you know, like it, no matter what they're gonna do, it there's always going to be some sort of toxicity when it comes to this game. So adding something like voice chat or text chat or anything like that, there's always going to be ways to get around stuff like it, but it would help the game overall to just be able to communicate with teammates more, whether it be start, end game, or even middle of the match, you know, being like, hey, I'm going to be going Super Saiyan 3 Goku, would you be able to play Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta for example, or hey, I'm going to go Majin Buu, can you go something like Oob, for example, or anything like that, or like what's the character that you need to use. Anything would be able to help out. Please make a heal up speech on the wheel when you press T on PC. That would be so nice, because so many people run in and just die when they could just go back and being like, hey, I need you to back up and go heal, specifically not retreat, just go heal. That would be nice. That'd be awesome. Increase the how often you get Zenny from the battle pass. That's why people are finding it to be such a chore. Star collection was never the problem, it's the amount of Zenny. You can't increase hero memories and not adjust the amount of or how often Zenny appears on the battle pass. When you have characters at rank 4 and end up, it becomes considerably harder, especially for those who have almost all of the characters. So I'm going to be honest, if they don't revamp the battle pass, I think it is completely fine as it is, or the star collection. They've given us the biggest thing that we've wanted, which is a middle point at what you can get a tier 1 character. On top of that, they increase the amount of Zenny you can get every single day to 1,000 from the shop, guaranteed, with the ability to get more. I saw someone get 10,000. I've seen Monados get something like 2,000. There is even more ways to get Zenny. Now, could there be more improvements to that? Of course. I think it would be an awesome thing to have it increase in the battle pass. I think it would be an awesome thing to have it where we get Zenny every single match. I think a daily thing where you have to go into the new sort of event that's inside of the game to get Zenny, the like finders keepers, the stuff like that, veggie battle, having it where you have to play it like 2 or 3 times per day to get like an additional 1,000 Zenny, that would also be nice as well, right? Like there could always be more and more ways to adjust Zenny, right? But the character memory is just such a non-issue now that it's just Zenny that would need to be adjusted at this point. The Star Collection, I think, is perfectly fine the way that it is. It's still a little bit of a chore, but at the same time, it was never supposed to be a thing where you could just grind out in like 2 days. And I think that was the reason why they made it the system that it was. But at the same time, like, I can understand if people want the Battle Pass needs to be revamped as a whole. I hate the skins. I do not like them at all. And I think that the Battle Pass as a whole is pretty bad. So if they wanted to add Zenny onto that too and fill in some of those blank spaces, that would also be kind of cool. EX tokens should be able to be used to get all the emotes 2 weeks after coming out in a banner. For example, Legendary should cost 500 EX tokens. Epics should cost 150, except we'll check that out in a second. Epic should cost 150, etc. I feel like this would make EX tokens much more valuable instead of it being only used for skins, also as pity for emotes. Yes, it should be. Like, entirely remove this part. It should just be this in general. EX tokens, I get it. Those skins are cool as hell. But at the same time, there are times where you will get the same emote over and over and over and over again. And it is the worst feeling in the world, right? I got the same Trunks emote, the intro, 4 fucking times in the same video. The same, like, 10-minute video. I got it 4 times. 4. To then be able to be like, you know what? I got it 4 times, but I could be able to now swap it in and I can get 1 legendary I want. It would make it so much better for me than having it where it's like, fuck, the only thing I could get right now is those infinite skins. And the infinite skins look cool, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather just be able to choose the animation that I was chasing for than be like, dude, I just spent like, what was it? $20 or something like that was on the sale, $40, whatever the sale was that I got at the time, and it fucking sucks. Like, it's such a shitty feeling, dude. We can just go ahead and check this out now. Can we get Zenny after every match like hero memories? Yes. Like I said, people, I think I wouldn't say they solved it, but they've definitely made it such a smaller issue now that we can get Zenny every single day from the shop. Like, it's guaranteed in the shop or gold capsules. And honestly, like, I'm completely fine with if I don't get Zenny and I get gold capsules, I'm not going to be complaining at all. Right. But just getting like 1,000 daily from the shop, bare minimum, with the chance of getting 2,000, I'm assuming 5,000, 10,000. That's kind of cool. Okay, hold on. Let me just double check that. Okay, let me read the top one and then the bottom one after. Not sure if there's a setting, but please make it so skills are not queued automatically after the current skill. Sometimes I'll click a combo, but due to the fast pace, I decide against it, or I click too fast and waste skills. What I meant is make an option per character, like how some games have per character key bindings and settings. I don't know if they have per character, but you can change some of the settings inside of the actual, like, here, let me just pull it up real quick. Let me pause the recording. But yeah, if we go ahead and hop over to the options side of things, you can go to mouse and keyboard. If we scroll all the way down, you can have the presets for every single thing. I, for example, have it where my skills are the button 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then my helper is R. And the reason why is because I have 4 mouse buttons, 2 on the top and 2 on the sides. So if I want to, I click the top 2 for the first 2 skills, and then the bottom 2 or the side 2 for the skill 3, and then the super attack. Like I said, though, if you want to have it where it's like per character, I can understand that. You could also have it where it's like set for each level up as well. Like right click is for the level up for 1, shift and left click, shift and right click, and then spacebar for super attack. But again, if you want to have it where it's hero specific, that's completely fine. Like, if you need it where it's not hero specific and you just want to change your controls, it is there. I'm not sure how. Yeah, you can do it as well for controller 2. I don't think it's as like, Yeah, it's not as thorough though from what I'm seeing. No, because it has like the little Y there. But I don't know. I don't really play controller. Let's go ahead and go back to the feedback though. Let me close the game out real quick. At least if that's what you meant. I could be wrong. Okay, let's see. Sell buff ideas. We're already getting a thumbs up because that character, fucking hell, man. I have no idea how they did not buff him already. Bioenergy, imperfect cell only. When draining a target while you're at max HP, you gain 200 temporary max HP up to 1,500 that cannot be healed back when lost. And strike defense up until the next time you take strike damage for 8 seconds. Perfect cell only. When draining a target while you're at max HP, you gain 200 temporary max HP up to 800 that cannot be healed back when lost, and strike defense up until the next time you take strike damage for 11 seconds. So like in canon, you're weaker than most at the start, but you prepare by farming mobs in the early game to have the better confrontations with enemy heroes. Increase the minimum amount of bioenergy gain from draining mobs from 2% to 3%. Rush attack, imperfect cell only, increases bioenergy by 5% if the hero is defeated by a rush attack. Skill 1 honestly doesn't need changes, at least not in the current meta. Skill 2, slightly increase the range at level 1. Increase bioenergy by 5% if the move defeats an enemy hero. That would be cool if it had it where you gain bioenergy depending on the skill that you use and it defeats the person. That'd be nice. Regeneration, reduce the cooldown by 1 second. Gain no obstruction, yes. Reduce all damage taken by 20% during the move. Further increase the amount of HP restored depending on how many enemies were hit by the move. So here, this one I guess would be my suggestion. I don't, well, no, because all this would do is have it where it's this basically makes it where you're wanting to farm mobs before fights, and that's fine. That's not like a bad thing at all, right? What I would just want, I suppose, is remove this part. Like, it would be cool if Cell just gets like that kind of shield like other tanks, but doesn't need to be at max HP, you know? That's probably the only thing. I like basically everything else in this. This is all really good changes. Like, I have been asking for no obstruction on his skill 3 for such a long time, man. It is such a stupid thing that you can hit him out of his regeneration. I'm completely fine with the amount of HP that it restores on skill 3, but skill 1 and skill 2, I think, specifically need buffs on it. Remove the damn destroy or assist in destroying X Dragon Shell mission from the game already. It's either my allies are very bad, refusing to surrender as we get mopped during the whole match, or they're good, but the enemy surrenders when we're about to break their last tower or Dragon Shell out of spite. It's the worst mission in the game because if your most, if not all of your enemies surrenders when things are not going their way, it turns what should be 3 matches into 30 on a good day. It's right next to evade enemies attacks 45 times in terrible missions, and I can't even complete that weekly mission thanks to its terrible detection in what I dodged or didn't dodge. Either remove the mission and replace it with win a match X amount of times, or change it to destroy or assist in destroying the Dragon Shell 1 time. It's not fun for the player, and it exists to artificially drag out playtime from them. I think that what would be like a good remedy for this, because I haven't personally had this issue, because I always just I think even when I just played for 2 hours, we complete the mission to be able to destroy the Dragon Shell in all of that time, right? So that's just from my personal experience. But what would be nice is either the ability to skip a mission and like be able to refresh it to gain another mission in its place, or to have extra missions so that way you don't need to complete all of them to get the max amount of rewards, you know, kind of like how the battle pass is. You don't need to complete every single one of the battle pass missions to complete the entire battle pass. You always have the extra mission points at the end. So I think either one would be pretty nice for that, because I understand this. Like I could see that happening and being an issue. So I'll give that a thumbs up. Oh god. Oh god. Bring back the giant, or the boss Great Ape. When there are no decisive resource points 8 minutes into the game, if neither team goes to the tower, the match will only drag on pointlessly. It's so boring. So add the Great Ape boss at the 10-minute mark. Whichever team defeats it gets the massive bonuses and takes control of the game. You know what? I'm going to add on to this. Instead of having it where Great Ape comes back, I want it to only happen in one scenario. And it's if both teams have secured boss twice. So if both teams have it where they each have 2 boss secures, and there is one boss that just cannot be obtained, add the Great Ape. And if whoever wins that Great Ape around the 10-minute mark can just get the double Zenos and the advantage and all that. I don't know if it needs to be as big of a massive bonus as what Great Ape used to be, because we are not going to romanticize that idea. I think that one was literally like, if you won Great Ape, you won the game. So I only want it to be in this specific scenario to make it where the games don't drag on as long. So if 2 people win bosses on both teams, then I think Great Ape could be like a nice thing to come back. But still don't make it where it's like impossible to win if you get Great Ape. Just make it where it's like the double Zeno advantage. It does basically the same thing as boss, where it causes like some damage to the tower. And I don't know what they would want to make the like extra bonus that you get for defeating Great Ape. Maybe Great Ape's bonus would just be double Zeno. Oh, maybe it could be like team KO. So instead of getting like the massive amount of stats that you would get for defeating the boss beforehand, maybe it's just double Zenos. Because if you team up, you could still win. It would just be Great Ape or nothing. Ultimate Gohan is currently, currently unbalanced even after the first round of changes that occurred, and in my humble opinion, he needs more extensive changes than just to his damage and health. Ultimate Gohan's kit provides very little counterplay with how it's designed to continuously stun and control enemies, which make him very frustrating to fight against with his low cooldowns and his potential unleashed, allowing him to chain someone at least twice. These are the things I would make for balance changes that would bring Ultimate Gohan down to other characters' levels without completely destroying him. Rolling Hammer should be changed to have a longer delay before he leaps at the enemy, giving him a better chance at avoiding it via a vanish. Vanishing should also break the lock on, similar to how I break it. Does. You can vanish out of it. It's just the timing is very precise. If they made it where the timing was less precise, though, that would be nice. You Can't Win should be changed to require 4 stacks for a break effect, lowering Gohan's overall ability to keep trapping people into stun loops. This would justify his passive not only lets him stun an enemy, but also the debuff of physical and energy defense down. Yep. Right, so I love this game a lot. It's just a lot of problems right now. I had a problem. Just had a match where, while keeping my finger on the button, my rush attack decided to stop attacking my opponent. But I was using Daimagoku, so they were definitely inside my range. Second problem I had was this: shortly after the first, the game just decided to kick me out. Error in the game closed itself in completely. No idea what that's about. If you had medical respawns, it consistently does that if it's like bosses and all that. After jumping back into the game and letting me rejoin the match after a couple seconds, just when we were in a team fight against the boss, I suddenly gained, yep, it was the boss, and if it was medical respawns, that was the reason why. I suddenly gained the ability to hit gods, even though I was at the boss with my team. My skills were replaced with all the Gekishin skills, and I couldn't hurt attack the boss or the enemy team. So I ran to the nearest god and started hitting that because that's all I could apparently do. But it was only after doing that and backing off that I was able to fight normally again. But that was obviously too late. All of these problems were in the same match, and it's not only a bad look on me, but also for the people who I'm teamed with that don't know what's going on and can only see their teammate not playing like they should. Please fix this as soon as possible. I've said this in the past though. There is a submitted bug reports feature. It's kind of the same thing like how we were talking about at the beginning of the video with the submitted game feedback section. You can go ahead and just do the report bug, and in the same style as like the game feedback, it pulls up the thing for the section of the bug. You can go ahead and tell them what the time that happened at, for it, the language that you played, the platform that you played, and then the bug details that, and just give as much of this as soon as possible, or not as soon as possible, sorry, give as much details as possible so they could figure out why this happened. Because remember, they do check both the reported, like they both check the submitted game feedback and the submitted bug reports section. The records and rewards problems. I've been playing this game for a long time. It's pretty fun, especially achieving 100k points for getting 600 Zenny rewards for each character. But there's a huge problem with it. For getting that 100k points, you have to do great, but not that great, because the enemy team will forfeit, making you lose your points. That's why I propose that instead of being one match goal, it should be a big goal over several matches, like as emblems do, giving you a great reward for playing many characters. This would really increase the replayability by giving the players an incentive to play with all the characters. Yes, I think having it where it's 100k points, when more often than not, like on average, you will not get this amount of points because of the fact that the enemy will just forfeit, or the matches have to go on for literally like 10 minutes and every single boss has to come out before then. That's, it's just not something you're going to be able to get consistently. So having it where it's just like a guaranteed reward rather than something that's kind of in a sense luck based would be nice. I can't find a game solo queue after 30 minutes of waiting. I have an expired pop-up. Damn. Crossplay on, rank B, Europe, 9 milliseconds ping, auto roll. If I team up, it works well and it is fast within a minute. But I've waited 1 hour with no results. My friends don't have this issue. Try resetting your game to see if that would work, I would say. Please add a rank limit to standard battles to prevent B ranks VT up. Please make it easier to add people. Yes. Yeah. Hello, dear developers. As a Dragon Ball fan who's absolutely thrilled to see the franchise faithfully recreated in the game, I'd like to share some thoughts regarding Broly's character vision. The original Broly had 2 distinct designs, and you've adopted one with the chest wound from the second movie, while also blending classic lines and skills from both theatrical releases. As a diehard Broly fan, I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed. After all, there are noticeable differences in hair color and abilities between the 2 iconic Brolys across the 2 films, and many iconic skills haven't been incorporated into the game yet. There are enough source materials to create 2 separate Broly characters. That said, the new Broly you've designed is really fun to play, so thank you for your hard work. I'm curious whether you plan to develop the Broly from the first movie into a brand new playable character, or release his looks as a purchasable skin. If you offer the skin route, please make sure to fully replicate the hair color and style of Broly from the first movie. I understand this would require recreating new hair models, which I will add to your workload, but as a Dragon Ball fan, I sincerely hope you see my favorite character brought to life in the game with 100% authenticity. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take this suggestion in consideration. Thank you. Yeah, I would prefer if the character was just a separate one, kind of like how you said, where it's just a completely new character that comes out, and then I guess maybe just blends the 2 Brolys again. But overall, I wouldn't be too upset at it being a purchasable skin. Also, because it would be a purchasable skin, I think it's more than fair to ask that the hair color and style of Broly from the first movie should be replicated faithfully, especially because you're having to pay money for it. Ooh, 25 likes. This is a big one. Match dodging is severely affecting the gameplay experience. Currently, Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra is in one of the worst states regarding the dodging issue. Players constantly leave games before they start. Out of 15 matches, around 10 of them get dodged, making it nearly impossible to play the game properly. This problem was present in Season 1, but it has become significantly worse in Season 2. It happens frequently in NA and LATAM servers. I'm not sure if it affects other regions as well. There should be real and meaningful penalties for this behavior. Losing hero fragments is not an effective punishment and does nothing to discourage dodging. I hope this issue can be addressed to improve the overall gameplay experience, as hopefully this type of behavior can be put an end to in Season 3. Thank you very much for your time. I understand. Genuinely, hand up, hand on Bible, I've only dodged probably 3 games in my entire history, and the only reason why I dodged it was because there was these people in my queue when I was solo queuing, and for whatever reason they thought going baby, no, it wasn't baby, it was a tank character. I think it was like Gohan and baby or something stupid like that, and they went a tank and they went a technical and they went bottom lane. We lost the first game, we lost the second game, and in the third game I was like, you know what, I don't want to play with these people because they kept just ruining the experience of the game for me. So I dodged, and it wouldn't be an issue if they had it where you could just avoid as a teammate. You know, it wouldn't have been an issue if I could have blocked them. It wouldn't have been an issue if literally so many other placeholders could have been put in to make it where I didn't have to play with them and make it where dodging was my only like way. But dodging so that way you don't have to face like enemies is so stupid. You cannot get better at the game if you do not play against people who are better than you. If things aren't working out consistently, try to mix things up, try to do something different, right? If it's on my team, I can't do shit because they're literally throwing by going in bottom lane, both of them, right? But yeah, like I think that dodging teammates should not probably be as punished as much as dodging enemies, but at the same time, dodging probably as a whole should be punished a lot more severely. I understand. Shit, I would have taken the 10-minute timeout if it meant I didn't have to play with those guys. We cannot go into the next season without people being able to poke out the last bits of health on a tower. It's a really unfun thing to have desperate to defense and suddenly lose because they can just spam their buttons and do a sliver into damage despite you whittling away their health. They need to take the risk and not get rewarded for not having one when the health is low. Yeah. I get it. Again, though, when nothing against this person, but when you talk about feedback like this, something I would personally suggest is say what you would like the change to be, because the only way they'll know what to try and to test is if you specifically tell them what you want it to be, you know? Like, I've talked about it where I think poking is also very stupid, but I think it's also a necessary evil to an extent, because then it just kind of enables like a turtle mindset in a sense, and it's just going to cause games to go on forever. So what I was suggesting was that anytime you killed a boss, you would be able to chip that tower to death if that boss was attacked via, or sorry, if the tower was attacked via the boss. But other than that, like, you couldn't chip past like 25% of the tower's health. But that was just my suggestion, right? There's other people who have different suggestions, but I'm always curious to see what you guys would think about that. Someone mentioned that this in chat already, but can we get character specific banners for current characters too? Yeah. Just make it where do not make it where it's those single summon capsules. Please, for the love of Christ, man. We've talked about this so much. I'm just gonna give this a thumbs up. You get a big thumbs up. I agree with you, and we're gonna move on from that one. We talked about EX tokens and pity and all that stuff too much. Waiting in solo queue, is that the same guy who was waiting in solo queue for a long time? It is. We'll move on past that one too. Same person as before, but let's see. I know someone mentioned it before. After a while, no more capsules start becoming either useless or disappointing in use. So this is because you either end up having everything, or the few things you do still need to summon for just won't drop no matter how many you use. Actually, just having a function where you could trade, say, 5 normal capsules in for a special capsule, or maybe 3, just something to that effect, so that they still have their use even when you have 100, etc. sitting in there. What I would think would be nicer is having it where normal capsules should not give duplicates unless you have everything, you know? So like, it should be just have like a giant X on it until you have quite literally everything, to stop you from being able to get like the extra skin color you like, you know? They don't need to gacha game something that you literally cannot pay more for. There's nothing that you can do other than the battle pass in order to get more normal capsules. So just being able to not have to worry about that would be nice. Just make it where it's guaranteed extra recolors, you know? Remove the ability to surrender when you lose your glass god of destruction. Again, I kind of have to repeat the same thing here. It's kind of a necessary evil, because of the fact that there will be times when the enemy team will just be dickheads and stay under that dragon shell for the longest time, because they know that you guys will cannot surrender, right? Like, it's something you have to have happen. Like, I get it if it frustrates you because of missions, or if you want to have it where you see the Dragon Ball acquiring animation. Like I said, there's things they can do to remedy that, having it where the MVP would be the person who gets the Dragon Ball acquiring animation, that the like when surrenders happen, that the mission can be swapped out if you get something that specifically says you have to break the dragon shell. But I don't think we need to remove the ability to surrender, because all it's going to do is create a toxic environment because of that. Because there will be people who just constantly sit back and just kind of be like, haha, I won, I'm gonna make you sit here for 4 more minutes, you know? So it's a necessary evil. 4 stacks only need to go against other 4 stacks. You punish solo players from climbing too high, do something worthwhile, or get different jobs. Fuck you. Like, I have talked over and over again about this. You are talking to another human being whose interest in this is to just make the gameplay experience that you are trying to have a better experience. It's the whole reason why we have the submitted game feedback section in at all. And to come into here and just be a dickhead, you should go fuck yourself. Simple as that. Remove the damn destroy or assist in destroying dragon cell mission from the game already. I think it's the same thing. Like yeah, it's the same comment. We already talked about that. Dragon shell should have 25% damage reduction per ally within its radius. This would stop the problem of people bombing it during a final fight, or just mashing the button to pick it up without actually fighting the opposing team to get it. That would actually be pretty cool. You get one final desperate last stand before the dragon shell dies. Error code 1002 keeps appearing after completing my matches, whether they're wins or losses. It's not counting matches in battle history and in the daily question for 2 battles a day. Was this is 3 days ago, so this is probably this is when the who came out, the patch notes came out, and then Broly came out. I think this is that. Season 3 is the last hope for this game. Y'all devs got a low-key lock in and fix issues of this game and give Star Collection rework ASAP, or just take a 2 to 3 month break and focus on balancing, reworking, and adding better rewards in the game. Either way, Season 3, last chance to see if this game will survive in big 2026. Like, this will be continuously repeated, and it is so funny to me. Because we're like, how often are we just gonna keep saying that? Guys, Season 2 is the last one. Guys, Season 3, that's where it's over. Season 4, you're fucked. Like, come on, man. And again, you can have this opinion, and I'm not gonna say that you're wrong for wanting a lot of this stuff to be fixed. It's the reason why they said they're gonna try to fix the Star Collection system. It's the balancing has been very iffy with stuff like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Ultimate Gohan. The rewards, while getting better, are still bad in some areas like Zenny. Like, I think Zenny is probably the biggest issue in the game with rewards right now. And like I said, I can agree with you on a lot of these issues, but there's 2 things you got to do. One, you got to give suggestions on what you want to see. We've talked about having it where you get extra Zenny every single time you complete a mission, or not, sorry, extra missions that you get from the battle pass that will give you extra Zenny. There's people who talked about having it where every single match you just get Zenny for completing like certain objectives. So like completing a boss will give you like 100 extra Zenny, for example. Getting triple boss KO will give everyone on the team 500 Zenny. Being able to just break the dragon shell will give you another 500 Zenny. Giving you MVP will give you like 1,000 Zenny. Like things like that, right? You got to give suggestions you want to see, or else you're kind of just saying things and hoping them to get fixed without actually adding anything onto the conversation on what you want to be fixed, right? Like Star Collection rework, you could say that you want it ASAP, but let's say the rework happens and then like it's worse because you didn't really say anything. Well, then you kind of have no one to blame but yourself for not giving something to work off of and improve on in the game. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing I love more than a sale on capsules. Get to spend money for a chance at getting something good or even something new and end up with all duplicates. So true. They need to make it where pity and the EX tokens and all of this stuff is just much better, because then this would not be as bad as it is. But this is just gacha game stuff. But the gacha game stuff could be better. So I'll give that one a thumbs up. Okay, this is another one that, like I said, this is when Broly came out. So if we get a couple of this, then we have to kind of skip past it because they already fixed it. Okay, they just resubmitted their stuff. That's fine. Yes. Ban AFK players. That's fair. Can we get more use out of common capsules? I'm sitting on like 200 of them because I don't really care about recolors or stickers. Maybe a chance to get some rare KO effects or a pity pull or something. I mean, the common capsules aren't really supposed to be anything other than recolors at the end of the day. If you want the rewards to be better, that's fine. But at most, I think what they should do is kind of like what the suggestion said earlier about having it where every single 5 common capsules you get can just be traded in for one of the season capsules. I'd be more than happy with something like that. So I'll give that one a thumbs up. I find it very predatory that the new Broly can't be hit during his jump attack, whereas the Gammas are able to be killed when doing their level 2 move. He can. Like, that's not That's not how the wording is. Like, if we come over here for a second, let's pull up Broly and Gammas for a second, right? So one, Broly gains unstoppable. This doesn't mean that he is unkillable. If we get someone who has an ability like that, that would be Zamasu. Zamasu's fourth ability is gain immune to all. That means that he gains immunity to both damage, he gains immunity to defense down, all of that status effect, anything. He's completely immune to it. Broly doesn't have that. He just gains unstoppable. He could still be killed, he could still be hit, he could still take damage when getting the gigantic stomp and doing it, right? You can't use status effects on him because he is unstoppable, so you can't like CC him out of that ability, but that doesn't mean that you can't hurt him. He could still die. And two, the fact that we're bringing up Gamma's skill 2 and saying that they can die while doing it is kind of funny to me, considering that they gain so much extra HP when they use the shockwave. It is actually insane. Like, let me just pull it up really quickly, because I think it was the season 2 patch notes that it happened, right? No, it was right before season 2. I think it was season, like the last season 1 patch notes. Yeah, here we go. So the cooldown time is 5 seconds, and then the amount of extra HP you gain is the same amount as the cooldown time, so you can literally have extra shield the entire time, and you get 20% extra HP. So, like, I think if you asked me whose skill 2 is arguably better, I'm gonna be honest, I think I would say it's Gamma's. Because Gammas gain a defensive mechanic while doing the damage, while Broly only has it where he can't be CC'd. And I don't know if we want to, like, it's a defensive mechanic to some extent, but it's not something that necessarily protects him. It just means that you can't stop him from doing the damage, in a sense. On top of that, Broly literally dies like on any single like blast based move ever, because he has no blast resistance. Good evening, hello developers. I hope all is well, as the issues I'm about to address may certainly lead to consideration in making improvements to the game further on. Yeah, dude, like this, I already like this is I'm not saying you have to write something like this every single time you do a feedback. This guy's going above and beyond, but to just be like kind and courteous is genuinely all I'm asking for when you do these feedbacks, man. That's all I ask. As a mobile player for this game, there are others like myself who are having issues in resulting in crashes, which kick us out of the game, forcing us to restart and head back in, only for us to come back dying and falling behind. Also, I'd like to address issues relating to matchmaking, as it shouldn't take 10 to 20 minutes to find a match. Others to discuss about issues like this, so hopefully things get fixed for the crashes. This is all I'm asking to address as the game crashes in matchmaking. Thank you for reading and hopefully maybe taking this into consideration and getting it fixed. Good feedback, as per usual. If you have it where your game is crashing, make a mental note, write it on the side, do whatever you need to do to remember what had happened. Go into the submitted bug feedback section, or the report bug section, and tell them every single detail that led up to that happening. Like if, for example, you are Super Saiyan Goku, you transform, and then you notice that every single time after you transform, you use the skill 2, it always crashes your game, then write about that, because obviously that isn't something that should happen. And they need to look into it and find out why something like that had happened. Amazing work adding the grade 3 at Star Collection 75, and the fact that you can claim it even if you've passed it. Though the babe between 30 and 75 is quite significant, so I would suggest adding one more tier at level 50 or similar. It would give new players better chances to get the character they want if they are new. I think it's fine as it is. If you wanted to change like that, that's completely fine. I think like 30 to 75 is certainly big as like when you're reading it, but like here, I probably should have just left the game open. Let me just go ahead and load the game back up again. If we go ahead and check the star collection system just for a second, like, I get it. The gap between this is still kind of significant. You have to go 40 tiers, but in between you doing all of that, we have it where it's tier 31, you get the tier 1 character, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your 6th character is another tier 1. So in between tier 30 and 75, you get 5 characters for you to be able to just get all of those tiers for. And considering that you have so much of these characters that will just be very easy to star level, like as of right now, because it is ×2 memory, you literally get 600 character memory for you just playing that character and using them, right? And that happens over multiple matches, right? So on top of that, not only are you getting 60, but because we're also getting damn near 1,000 zenny per day with the shop, like I can go ahead and go over to the daily section and you can see that I got 1,000 zenny, and that's just how it is permanently, right? And a lot of these earlier zenny missions are all, excuse me, all of these earlier star grade up levels are all in the range of like 300, 600, 1,000. Like, do I have something that's like star level 2? No, I could just do Broly really quickly because I don't really mind. So remember, that was 300 to do level 1. Level 2 is 600. So just by you playing the game and logging in every single day, not even looking at any of the other options to get zenny, you can get 2 full levels on any new character for free just by playing once and logging into the shop. So I think that's pretty good. And like, I get it, there is a lot of characters in tier 1 and a lot of them are hype and cool and awesome, but once you get past 75 and you get all the way over to tier 109, they spam it. They go 109, and then immediately after at 119 you immediately get another tier 1 character. And I think that's another reason why they put it so close back to back, was because of that. And then from that point on, you also get the other tier 3s, you get the other tier 2s, and even a tier 3 or a tier 4 of your choice, right? But let's go ahead and hop back over. It's again another reason why I say, in my opinion, I don't think the star collection system needs that much of like a significant improvement. I think if genuinely all they had was one last thing, and the one last thing was making it where like we get zenny per match every single match, I think it would be completely fine. I don't think I would need anything else to happen, and the star collection would be like fine, in my opinion. Like I don't think it would need anything beyond that point. They've more than fixed it. The battle pass after tier 50 should feature some kind of general random loot or extras any reward after 50, or general capsules per level. Yes, very true. As a PC player, I can't help but feel disheartened seeing the Dragon Gem deals and capsule handouts being restricted to Android and especially iOS. I get it. I am a PC player as well. It's not that hard. Well, okay. Well, let me think about how to say this. You don't have to play on iOS and Android. I do not play on iOS and Android. I downloaded the game on my phone, and if hopefully your phone is able to run it, if a tablet is able to run it, if your computer is able to run it, download something like isn't it Nox or something like that? What's the Android emulator that I can't think off the top of my head? There's one of them, I can't remember. But there are ways for you to be able to just get the gems. And even if you do not use the gems on your computer, on your PC, it is completely fine as long as your accounts are linked. As long as you have it where both accounts are linked to the same Bandai Namco ID, and you use those gems to purchase the battle pass, to purchase the character, to purchase the capsules and all of anything like in that like regard, they will transfer between accounts. So if I buy a skin on one account or I buy a skin on one device, it goes to every single device. The gems don't transfer, and that sucks. But I'm saying I'm not going to say it doesn't suck that the PC players also didn't get Dragon Gem sales. I'm just saying if you can, there are ways to just get them on Android and iOS as well. Because, like I said, if your PC is able to play Gekishin Squadra, you're probably able to download Gekishin Squadra on like an Android emulator. I'm sorry for owning an Android when the devs are only giving free capsules to yeah, this part sucks. Because if you don't have an, like, there is nothing in the game. There's not nothing in the game. There's nothing that I know of that can replicate an iOS device. Like, I don't think there is like an iOS emulator, at least to my knowledge, right? And that part sucks, that they only gave free capsules to specifically iOS users. And on top of that, this is kind of like a side note, and we're getting a little sidetracked, but on top of that, do you think iOS was the one who won the Google Play Best of 2025? I don't care if it was in Japan. Did iOS give Squadra an award? Fuck no. It was Google Play. So why are we treating iOS with these free capsules? Huh? What's going on, man? Fuck. That's more like nitpicky than anything. Broly is too strong and deals too much damage. Also, when your ally, it is very easy to become under level due to the AoE damage and damage output. It makes it an easy target for the rival team, as they'll be able to instantly kill you. So, okay. I have talked about this so many times. I don't even want to bring up my tier list. There are so many characters that are just straight up better than Broly. I am begging Gekishin Squadra devs. I am on my hands and knees. Do not, please do not nerf Broly. He needs a buff, and all the buff needs to have is defense for energy-based attacks. And that, like, literally that's all he needs for his passive. That's it, right? And I think he's completely fine. There are characters like Daima Goku. There are characters like Piccolo. There are characters like Super Saiyan Goku. There are characters like Gammas who are all confidently better than Broly. They are all able to do Broly's job, but better. Do not buff Broly. Sorry, do not buff Broly. Do not nerf Broly. He needs a slight buff. Please. There are, like, I get it if you constantly have it where, like, Broly's skill 2 is able to steal all the farm because it is such a just wave clear type move. And let's say that you're playing something like Ultimate Gohan, where Ultimate Gohan's like wave clearing fucking sucks. Like, I get it. Or you're playing something like Hit, whose wave clear sucks. Again, I get it. But it's just how it is. It's just how it's gonna be. You know, you're gonna have to try to get minions as much as possible. Hell, go back farm. You know, you can't. The Broly is. Actually, I feel like that's more of a teammate issue. If they're not leaving you any XP, that's just a fucked up teammate. Yeah, but don't nerf Broly, please. Yeah, it's funny. We got Krillin buffs, and they didn't do it like how they should have. It's funny. I think like half of this is all stuff I've said in videos. So, Great Teacher or Great Teach Lemon is a very awesome person who always gives some goated submitted game feedback. So let's go ahead and see what they said. After picking up my favorite character in the entire series from the start of the game, he has felt weak, and to this day, he has dropped further down the ladder of tech and support characters. He needs an entire rework on his kit. on how some of his skills work, range, and damage of the moves actually work. 1, his skill 1 energy mines need to be invisible to the opponents at the time of placement. Yes. Energy mines should also have a bigger radius upon leveling up from 5 to 7.5 to 9. And already off to a really fucking good start. Because I've said it time and time and again, it is so stupid that your enemies can see you put those mines down. And on top of that, the fact that Krillin is one of the only characters I can think of that just straight up does not get better skill-wise as time goes on. His skill 1 on from the level 1 to skill 3, all it does is like a little bit extra damage. It has no other like big improvements. I think you can get like 3 mines at skill 3, but that's it. The radius of the like explosion and how the detection and all that should be better though. It should be. Solar Flare needs a longer flash when getting hit by it more than once. As it stacks, the effective flash should linger longer because of an actual flashbang and not just momentarily blinding. That's fair. Scattering energy wave increases damage from 300, 400 to 600. Yes. Said it time and time and again. It is such a stupid thing that it is just straight up 300 and nothing else from skill 1 to skill 3. I think that energies, like the actual amount of the like scattering energy blasts that hit you increases, but it shouldn't be like that. It should just have the damage increased on the actual scattering energy wave itself, considering that it sucks. One thing I also would have liked to see here was the skill, his super attack. I think it needs just a small adjustment on the damage on skill 1 or on level 1 and level 2, because it shouldn't be like such a bad skill early on as much as it is. But skill 3, like the level 3 on it is completely fine. I think it is more than good. It just needs to be slightly better in the skill 1 or the level 1 and level 2 department. Fix the matchmaking. It's horrible. After the update yesterday, I managed to only find 1 match the whole day. I even fell asleep while waiting. So frustrating, dude. This never happened. That is kind of funny. All right, let me go ahead and pull up the comment that I saw, and then we're gonna put that at the end, and we'll go ahead and stop for today. All right, I found the feedback. This was from a YouTube comment. They said, hope you can review it on the next video. I love your thoughts and opinions. So let's go ahead and look at it. So let's see. Hi, first of all, I want to express my thanks for you listening to our feedback and working towards fixing what the players consider major issues on the game. The changes you've been implementing short-term look promising, and I'm eager to see what the final products will be, mainly the star system. That being said, I hope that my final entry on issues I wish to see improved, the battle pass. For starters, the standard battle pass is not even worth looking at. The premium version is what puts it on the map, but even still, it is bad, borderline mediocre. What I think would help make it better, avoid having blink tiers. Any reward would be better than nothing. I've said it in the past. I think it should be stuff like just Zenny. I think that if they don't want to add extra rewards, it could just be Zenny. While I would prefer to see like guaranteed animations for maybe some of these new characters and maybe some hit effects in there too. Again, anything is better than nothing. There are too many G capsules. We don't need 2 to 3 tiers of X amount of them. They give very little value, especially if we look at how many of them, how many there are in the premium section, which should contain more unique stuff considering it's a paid category. For example, you should combine them. Instead of granting, let's say 4 in tier 6 and another 4 in tier 7. Tier 6 and tier 7. Make the battle pass give 8 at tier 6 and add an actual worthy reward on 7. Gems would be ideal, but more on that later. By the way, this is a random example. I don't have the game open right now so to exactly pinpoint the tiers. The battle pass doesn't reimburse its full value. Partly to blame is the example above. It'd be great to recover the 250 gems plus a surplus so that way we can use it on something else. Like an extra 100 gems would go a long way. Speaking of gems, only 10 per week is far too little. At the very least, make it double. For example, I don't own 18 and I would have loved to buy her bundle with the outfit, but doing so would have prevented me from getting the next battle pass. I 100% agree. Let's actually take this like bit by bit. because I don't want to move. Well, actually, I guess we have been doing that already so far, right? But I'm happy with either or. If they want to make it where we get the entire gems back, that's more than fine with me. Like, I don't think anything needs to happen with like asking for a surplus so that way we can get extra battle pass or extra gems from the battle pass is I don't know if I would say it's realistic in the sense. I would want it. I don't know if they'll do it is what I'll say. But I think what is 100% fair is to just get the amount that you put into it back by the end of it, you know? That way people don't have to choose between, oh, can I get the battle pass next season, or should I just use it on the new character, you know? Because there is a whole bunch of people who I've talked to, and even in the comment section, who have been like, oh, well, the battle pass pays for itself because all you have to do is just play every single week and then you get the same amount of gems. And it's like, no, dude, that's not paying for itself. That you're adding two things into it. You're adding things that aren't even you're adding things that aren't even a part of the battle pass into this. This is not battle pass reimbursing itself. This is you using all the materials that you can to pay for the battle pass. That's not good. It should at least pay for itself. But if it doesn't pay for itself, making it where you can get like 20 a week, I think would be more than fine. If it isn't, like, either one of those would be completely fine with me. Other ways to add value would be for the premium final rewards be a ticket which we can use to exchange for any released character. Let's say you don't want the gift right away from the current season characters and make it so we can use it that were released before the current season, or for dupes for fragments. Even though you are addressing this somehow with the weekly missions and future star system reward rework, the battle pass would greatly benefit from adding this kind of value, and people would be more inclined to buy it as well. What I've always said though is that I would just want unique animations that are only inside of the battle pass, inside of it, or like unique skins. We have nothing. It's just gacha stuff that makes the battle pass worth it. I don't like the rage skins that are inside of the battle pass. I think it is such a throw in reward. And if it was something, it was either infinite, like, okay, hold on. If the battle pass did one of two things, then it would be fine. If we had it where it's not rage skins, because rage skins are fucking hideous to me, and it's instead added this, then the battle pass would be a-okay in my book. The infinite skins that are for the standard outfits, right? These should have been the battle pass skins, but they're not. Because at that point, it's infinite skins, right? But it's infinite skins of the actual base forms of the characters. While if you want the infinite skins of the costumes of the characters, then you have to get the EX tokens and then get all of this, right? So they should have just made it where it's like this. The fact that these are 350 gems is such a spit in the fucking face to me, dude. Like, it's sad. Because I hate these rage skins. These are so bad. All of them, dude, they gave... Okay, another little sidetrack. This is so fucking stupid. What do you mean this character doesn't have just one? He has two rage skins. Why? It's the same shit. Oh, what if purple but light purple? Fuck you. Sorry, I get a little passionate about this because I hate rage skins and I hate the battle pass. So it's like two of the things I hate the most. You know? So it irks me. It irks me a lot. Which one is it? Okay, there it is. All right, we're gonna end off on this one, by the way. I know there are other changes that would be greatly impacted, but I believe these would be impact the battle pass with the least amount of work having to be made. One last thing I would like to mention is the idea of bringing back bot gem bundles. I don't mind spending $10 from time to time, as that one had the best rate exchange on the store. The other one available right now is $40, and while it was quite a decent amount of gems, really, I can't picture myself spending 3K gems. I can buy a AAA game for that price. Bottom line, please review the battle pass to make it better. I think it should just reset every single season. Bottom line, please review the battle pass to make it better, specifically for the free-to-play community. Some small changes will go a long way. Less tiers with G caps and more with gems, zenny, or high prize rewards would be very much welcome. Thank you for your times to read this, and I hope changes are made to one of the core features the game has. Kind regards. What amazing dude. Wait a minute, that's actually so funny. We were just here. I looked up the message. Like, you can literally see I looked up the message. If I scrolled up, I would have just seen it. That's funny. That's funny. We'll go ahead and stop on that one though. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I hope you guys did enjoy. As per usual, the pinned comment will be the submitted game feedback, or not the submitted game feedback, the server. And if you would like me to go ahead and read your comment inside of this video or in the next week's video, please put the game feedback inside of the server, so not only can I see it, but the devs can see it as well. And then I'll review it in the next video, because I think that would be a fun thing to do. Just have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how many comments we have, or we literally just go ahead and look at your guys' feedback that you submitted in the server. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.